Hello friends, so welcome to my tally videos. So today's we are going to look our new videos that is TDS tax deducted at source. So in this chapter we are going to learn about the TDS, that is tax deducted at source. So I would like to know, as we have already learned our previous chapter. So we have covered the fundamental of accounting, and in the fundamental of accounting we have learned about the accounting introduction, accounting terms, accounting assumptions, double entry system, types of account, golden rule of account, source document of recording the transactions, recording transactions of business transaction, and so on. So in the second chapter we have learned about the introduction to tally. What is introduction of tally, what is tally, how to download the tally, how to install the tally, how to use the mouse and keyboard in tally, and so on. So in the third chapter we have learned about the chart of accounts. So in the chart of account we have learned chart of accounts, ledger and group, ledger creation, single ledger creation and multi-ledger creation, and so on. Similarly, we have learned about the stock keeping unit. What is inventory? What is inventory group? What is unit of measurement? How to create the godown? How to transfer the stock from one godowns to another godowns, and so on. So in today's chapter, we will see. Uh, in today's chapter, we will see TDS. That is, the fifth chapter is accounts receivable and accounts payable. Sixth chapter is management information system, and seventh chapter was tax in India. That is goods and service tax. So here we have learned about CGST, SGST, inward supply, outward supply, and so on. So today's videos will be on TDS, tax deducted at source. So in this video we are going to learn about the TDS. What is TDS and what are the terms included in the TDS, and how to activate the TDS in Tally, how to configure the TDS at ledger, at group, how to configure the TDS in the party, how to configure the TDS in the service ledger, how to create the nature of payment for TDS, and how to record the purchase invoice with TDS, and TDS reports. What are the TDS reports, and what are the TDS forms? So we will cover all this in the. This is the last video for the basic accounting and tally training. As we know, there are courses described as per the tally, and they have the two type of courses. One is basic and other is advanced. I will show you the basic and advanced once again. So I am just going to open my browser. I will go to the Tally education portal. So in Tally Education portal, we will search the courses. So here you can see course. So here Tally Essential and Tally Professional, two courses is given. So in the Tally Essential, we have covered this much of topic in Tally Essential. This is the Tally Essential content. In Tally Essential, Fundamental of Accounting, Introduction, then Introduction to Tally, and then we have Chart of Account. Similarly, we have Maintaining the Stock Keeping Unit. I am just giving some space so that you can understand. Maintaining the Stock Keeping Unit. Then we have the fourth chapter, Recording Transaction in Tally. How to record the transaction in Tally. Now I think it is visible to you. And we have accounts receivable and accounts payable management information system, and after that we have the GST, and we have the tax deducted at source. So here you can see all the chapter we have covered here. Feature to content, recording and reporting. So first module is fundamental of accounting, then introduction to Tally Prime, then maintaining chart of account, recording and maintaining the accounting transaction, then we have the goods and service tax, then banking. So banking, it will come in the next group, that is the generation financial report, that is MIS, data security, and company data management, that is also come into the other group. Accounts payable and accounts receivable, and we have the tax and compliance. So you can see here in basic training we have covered all this. So today's topic will be the tax deducted at source, that is income tax. So today we are going to start this topic, TDS. So what is TDS? First we will understand the meaning. TDS means tax deducted at source. The concept of TDS was introduced in the Income Tax Act 1961 with the objectives of deducting the tax on an income at the source of income. So basically this is one type of tax where the income of the service provider deducted at the time of transaction itself. No need to wait for 1 year to file the income tax return. If and service provider generating his income, if he is earning the income, at the same time his tax will be deducted. That is the income tax, that is the TDS. It is a direct tax which is deducted by the person who is making the specified payment. You can remember this word, specified payment. This TDS is not applicable for all the type of payment, only specified type of payment. I am going to bold this and I am going to mark this so that it become important. Specified payment. Example, rent of a building, rent of a machinery, salary, commission, contract. Suppose you have taken the building on rent, then you have to deduct the TDS and you have to give the amount to the building owner. If he's if you are liable to, if his income, if you are paying so much of money so that you can fulfill the TDS condition, then you have to deduct the TDS and make the payment. It is called the transfer to the collected. It is collected and transferred. TDS is collected. I will mention it TDS so that it will be clear and easily understood. TDS is collected and transferred to the central government account. Deducted amount adjusted against final income tax. Final income tax of SSC or final income tax of income tax payer. Final income tax of tax PAY paid. So whatever the TDS will be deducted, he can claim his TDS when he is making his final income tax payment. It is one of the method of collecting income tax which ensure the regular flow of revenue to the government. Okay, so this is why this is collected. This is one of the reason where government ensure the regular flow of revenue to the government. TDS process. TDS process terms. What are the terms will come in the TDS? What are the words or terms will come into the TDS process? So first is deductee. What is deductee? We will learn here what is deductee. So deductee is nothing but the seller provides service and bill to deductor, that is buyer. Deductee is the seller or service provider, a person or company which provide the or which gives the service to the buyer. Is a person making the specified payment. Buyer is a person making specified payment mentioned under the Income Tax Act 1961. But one cannot deduct the TDS if the service provider is individual or HUF, that is Hindu undivided family, whose books are not required to audit. So we cannot deduct the TDS if that person book is not required to audit. Okay. Except the rent case. Rent is the exception in this TDS process. And who is deductor? Deductee is the service provider or the person who sell the service, any kind of service. Deductee. Deductor. Who is the deductor? Deductor is a person who makes the payment after deducting the TDS. TDS. Deductor is the person who is making the payment after deducting the TDS. Suppose I am the rent owner and you are the person who has taken the rent of my building. So I am the deductee and you are the deductor. You understood like this. Another example I will give. A has given rent of his building to B and B is doing the business in A house. So here A has given the building, his building, so he is become the deductee. Okay. He will give you the monthly bill for rent expenses and you have taking the service of rent. So you are the deductor. You will deduct the TDS and make the payment. Deductor deduct the deductor remit the TDS amount into the bank treasury, and bank treasury remit the amount to the government. So here deductor will deduct the money, deposit into the bank, then from the bank it will transfer to the government account. Okay, we understood. So here in the TDS, what is form 16? What is form 16? So deductor issue form 16A to deductee for the TDS amount deducted. So once the TDS is deducted, okay, the deductor who deduct the TDS, he will issue the form to the deductee. That is form 16A. Okay. What is NSDL? Another word is come in the TDS process. TDS process terms WHICH which COMES comes in TDS process. So I think this will be more appropriate heading. Okay, terms which comes in TDS process. Number one, deductee whose tax is deducted. Number two is the deductor who deduct the TDS tax, and after deducting the TDS tax he will issue the form 16A. And next word is NSDL. What is NSDL? NSDL is deductor file the ETDS to NSDL. NSDL upload the ETDS information to the income tax department. Deductee files the return with form 16A to the income tax department. So this is the mediator of the TDS process. Next is TDS certificate. It is issued from the deductor to deductee. For example, TDS certificate, one certificate is form 16A. So what are the TDS certificate? What are the TDS certificate? TDS certificate is a proof that deductor has deducted the tax and paid the same to the government. This proof is entitled to the deductee to claim the credit of tax in his income tax return. I hope it is clear to all. It is a certificate that proves that deductor has deducted the TDS. Okay, what are the TDS certificate? So first one is the form 16. Form 16 is for which type of certificate? TDS on salary. Form 16A, that is the TDS on non-salary payment. Form 16B, TDS on sale of property. If you have deducted any kind of TDS on sale of property, then you have to issue this 16 form B. Okay, I hope it is understood. Like this, form 16C is the TDS on rent. Frequency means when you have to issue and the due date. So next terms comes in the TDS process is form 26 AS. So this is the important form in the TDS process. It is a statement where deductee can check whether deductor has deposited TDS amount to the government on his PAN behalf. So this is the statement where deductee can check whether deductor has all the deductor has deducted the TDS and paid to the government or no. This form shows all the TDS deducted and deposited on your PAN behalf. On one PAN number, how many people have deducted the TDS? All type of TDS will show in this statement. So the next statement is there. Next, tax deducted under tax assessment number. TAN. What is the TAN? It will come into the picture. TAN, tax assessment number. It's a 10-digit alphanumeric character given by the income tax department to the deductor. So if you want to deduct the TDS, you must have the TAN number, that is tax assessment number, 10 digits number given by the income tax department. Next is permanent account number, PAN number. So what is PAN number? Permanent account number. It's a 10 digit alphanumeric 10-digit alphanumeric number allotted by the income tax department to all taxpayers whose income is taxable. The format of PAN is similar to TAN number also. In case where the PAN is not available or applied for, then can provide as PANotable or PAN applied while creating the party account. We must give the PAN number. If it's not given, then the TDS will be at 20%. TDS will be deducted at 20% rate. Flat rate is the 20% if PAN number is not there of the deductee. So next terms comes into the picture, and that is whose TDS is not required to deduct. Okay, this is another important questions. Whose TDS is not required to deduct? Interest on loan paid or interest paid to LIC or any amount paid to Reserve Bank of India is not required to deduct the TDS. TDS due date. What is the TDS due date? So TDS deducted should be deposited to NSDL by 7th of subsequent month. Suppose if you deduct the TDS in this month, suppose in December month, then January 25 before January 25 you have to deposit the TDS amount to the NSDL. For example, TDS deducted in 1st April 24 must be paid to government on or before 7th May 24. But exception for March exception given for March month. March, MONTH month. March month, which can be extended up to 30 April. So March is the up to 30 April. 30 April 2024, next month. This is the last month of the financial year, so there will be lot of work. So for 1 month government has given the exception, that is the March month of every financial year closing. Okay, so next terminology is mode of the payment for the TDS. What are the mode of payment for the TDS? So TDS can be paid through e-payment, online mode, and the physical mode. Physical mode, going to the authorized bank, and you can fill the TDS form, and you can fill the details, and you can pay the TDS tax. So the next things is the TDS returns and their due date. So like you submit the returns of GST, that is GSTR1, GSTR3B. For government of TDS, we have to give the form, we have to submit the form. So what are the form in the TDS? So we can see the form of TDS, that is various form 24Q. And why this form 24Q we issue, we file, that is TDS on salary. If anyone's TDS is deducted in the month of April, May, June, then on July, on or before 31st July of first quarter, we have to submit this form. Form 26Q, TDS on all payment resident except salary. Form 26Q we submit TDS on all payment, that is June, July, August, September, and the due date for that form is 31st of October, that is the second quarter. Next we have Form 27Q, and that Form 27Q is for TDS on all payment other than TDS on all type of payment for non-resident. TDS on all payment other than salary, and other than salary for resident is there, for non-resident is there, that is your third quarter. And Form 26QB is there, that Form 26QB is TDS on sale of property, and Form 26QC is there, that is the TDS on rent. That is all type of payment. TDS on all types of payment other than salary. We will discuss the salary later on. So basically these both is same. So next we have another category, that is second part, how to enable the TDS in Tally RP9 or Tally Prime. How to enable the TDS in Tally Prime or Tally RP9. Tally Prime and Tally RP9, there is no much more difference. So we have to open the company. We will see how we have to enable the TDS in Tally. Then we will see how to create the ledgers, that is service provider, service receiver ledger. Then we will see the nature of payment, what nature of payment we are making, and we can tell the nature of service also, what nature of service we are taking. Then we will create the expenses ledger. Then we will create the duty ledger. Duty ledger is nothing but the TDS ledger. And final we will create the vendor, that is service provider, that is deductee. And service receiver, our company will become the service receiver. Okay, our company will become the service receiver. So now we should start it. So I will open the Tally. I have opened the Tally. So suppose we are a company in the supermarket business, and we are recording the transactions. We are passing the transactions on behalf of company. So in TDS, how we will process? So first of all, we will enable the TDS. So TDS enable, where it will come? We will enable the TDS in the F11 features. So in F11 features, we will go to the company. We will go to the F11 features, and we will make this option yes. Show more feature, show all feature. Then we will come to the taxation part. Taxation. So in the taxation, this is the GST detail. This is the enable the TDS tax deducted at source. We will make it yes. We will give the TAN registration number. So we can see we have to give the TAN number. So I will give one demo TAN number, that is already we learned here. Alphanumeric number. I will copy it and I will remove this star mark. Tax deducted and allocated number. So suppose we are a company, branch is Lucknow, person responsible, we leave it as of now. Ignore income tax exemption limit for TDS. We are not giving any limit. Activate TDS for stock item, currently not required, not giving. So we will press enter and save this screen. So this is the first step in the TDS process. That is F11 gateway of tally F11 taxation set yes enable tax deducted at source and set alter the TDS detail, and we have given the detail. Yes, fill the deductor detail, save the entry. Save the screen, we can tell. Save the SCREEN screen. Next come to ledger creation. Seller ledger creation, service provider. So first we'll create the nature of payment. So to create the nature of payment, from gateway of tally we will go to the create option. We will go to the statutory details, nature of payment, statutory masters, nature of payment. So we will create the nature of payment, payment to contractor. So our first nature is the payment to contractor. Section 194C Section 194C subsection payment code we are giving 94C. We are leaving that rate for individual is 10% and rate for other deductee is also 10%. If we have any limit, we will give the limit, or else we are ignoring the limit as of now. Create. So one is created. Limit 1 lakh rupees is there. If we can identify, we can give it. Payment to insurance commission. Payment to insurance commission. I am just copying it and going to tally, paste it. If you have the license, you can press the helper button and all the TDS nature of payment will list here. Or if you want it, you can copy it from the your old tally license. If you have, you can copy from them also. Payment to insurance commission, I will type the full name COMM. Okay, it will not allow, leave it. So what is the (194D) section 194D remittance code is not there. 10% for both, that is the individual and company. This rate is for individual, COMPANY, company. So contractor, we have given the wrong rate here. Okay, we will save this screen. 10% for both. Exemption limit is 15,000. I will give the limit also, and I am going to change the previous one. Alter nature of TDS payment, payment to contract, or contractor, individual 1% and company 2%, other than individual 2%, and the limit is 1 lakh rupees. April 24. The company start from 1 minute 22. I will just check the company start from 1st April 22. So applicable date we have to give 1st April 22. Nature of payment, contractor, more detail. So in this only we will going to alter, that is 1% for individual and 2% for other than individual. Rate for individual with PAN, without PAN, without PAN 20%, other than deductee type, that is 2%, without PAN 20%, it is correct. So I will remove this. I will show you again. Go to the more option, go to the TDS section, payment code, remittance code, set alter the additional detail. So in additional detail we will go here, each transport category, software loyalty, relaxation, individual, other than individual, enter and save it. Next we will go to the other TDS ledger. Payment to audit fees. Suppose sometime we required to go to the auditor for our books of accounts to be audited. So payment to audit. Create, Control B, payment on audit fees. What is the section? What is the section here? So section is 194J. 194J. J. So what is the rate here? We will see the rate. 30,000 bill, 10% for company only. %10 rate for both, for individual also, and minimum is 30,123. Saved. So the next TDS rate is payment to technical charges. Next video is going to be your payment of technical charges. Payment on technical charges. Technical CHARGS charges, PAYMENT payment. In your business, if you are taking any kind of technical assistance and you are making the payment, you need to deduct the TDS. Section 194J, that is section is for same 94J, 10%, 10% or 15% it is. 10% TDS rate is 10%. For the individual also, for same also, okay, 30,000 bill. Next is the commission or brokerage. Individual 5% and company also 5%. Individual and commission or brokerage. Commission or brokerage. Commission or brokerage. Section, which section? So on commission on brokerage, 194H, 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 94H. It might be different, but for practice we are learning it. How much TDS we have to deduct on commission or brokerage? 5%, 1 lakh rupees limit. 5% limit is 1 lakh rupees. So next, so as of now we have created the commission or brokerage, TDS on commission and brokerage, payment on audit fees, payment on insurance, commission, payment to contractor, payment to any kind of technical charges payment. We'll create one or more, one or more, that will be enough. So this is the must used nature of payment in the business. There are other nature of payment also in the business, but these are the must use. Rent of land and building, payment on rent of land and building. Section 194I, 194I, 94I, and 2,40,000, 10%. 10% on rent and building, 2 lakh. So this is the single bill, whatever the limit we are giving, either it is a 1 year payment or it is a single bill payment. Any one condition it should be satisfied, then this TDS will be applicable. Okay. Rent of payment of plant and machinery, rate is 2%. Okay. PAYMENT, payment of payment of rent of plant and machinery. Same. Section 194I 94I. How much? 2%. Bill limit is 40,000, 2,40,000. Next is purchase of goods 50 lakhs, above 50 lakhs. That is the payment on purchase of goods. Payment on purchase of goods 50 lakhs. One 94Q 94Q, and the rate is 0.1%. For both limit is 50, 1 2 1 2 3, 50 lakhs. So this hour become the payment, specified payment, nature of payment. Next we will create expenses ledger, advertisement expenses. Next we will create the expenses ledger. Create. So we will go to the advertisement expenses. Advertisement EXPENSES expenses, and we will keep the under indirect expenses not applicable, statutory details, GST applicable. As of now we can keep not applicable. Set alter GST detail, yes. Is TDS applicable. So advertisement expenses we will keep to the payment to contractor. Enter and save it. This is the expenses ledger. Other expenses I will create advertisement expenses, audit fees expenses, AUDIT audit fees, EXPENSES expenses. Under indirect expenses, GST, we calculate the GST also, but okay, in one bill or two bill we will learn that also. Is set alter the statutory detail, yes. Next is TDS applicable, and that is the payment to audit fees. Similarly we will create a payment to technical installation, software installation. Software installation CHARGS charges, indirect expenses, set alter, other statutory, yes, is TDS applicable, and nature of payment is technical charges payment. Next, commission expenses, COMMISSION commission, EXPENSES expenses, ledger under indirect expenses, set alter other statutory detail, yes, TDS applicable, commission and brokerage, enter and save the screen. So next is the office building rent, OFF office, BUILDING building, RENT, indirect expenses, supply, other expenses, yes, TDS applicable, and that is the payment on land and building. Next, we have created the expenses label, then we will create the expenses ledger. After that, we will create the duty ledger. So what is the duty ledger here? TDS payable. So TDS payable comes under the duties and taxes. Here duties and taxes. So here when we take nature of payment, so we have to create multiple TDS payment ledger. So we will keep it common. So here we will not select any nature of payment. We will keep any, and it will tally will take automatically based on the ledger configuration. So we will enter and accept this. So our next TDS duty ledger is created. Next is the sundry creditor party ledger, sundry creditor, or service provider we can tell. Service provider. So the service provider is a type of deductee, that is body of individual, company resident, company non-resident, individual HUF, non-resident, and individual HUF resident, partnership form. So these are the service provider. So first illustration is important TDS payment and rate. Technical charges. Supermarket. I will just take it to the next page. Technical charges. Supermarket purchased the accounting software from the Infosys at 20,000, 10% TDS is deducted. So now the recording part has come, transaction recording part. So this part we will see in the next video. So in today's videos, what we have learned? 4 things. First things here, creating the ledger, creating the nature of payment. To record the transaction, number 1, we have to create the TDS nature. Second is expenses ledger. Third is the duty ledger. Third is duty ledger. Fourth is sundry creditor service provider. Sundry creditor or service provider party. So after creating these, we will record the transaction. After creating these, we will start recording the transaction. So this recording the transactions we will see in the next videos. Recording transactions we will see in the next videos. Okay, thank you for watching. Keep like and support our work. Thank you.